Alright folks, it's me and the little dude out here. Speaking of first fruits, I want to show you what's starting to come into fruiting, because this is exciting for me. I put a lot of seeds in the ground. I've harvested some collard greens. That's all so far. And so stuff is finally starting to show a sign of fruit. Alright, so these snow peas were kind of an afterthought to me, but what's going on here is we've got a little bloom actually starting to show, and there's some more. I think these are snow peas. They may go by a different name, but this is kind of nice. This means I'm going to be getting beans, and there's the start of another bloom there, so this is good. All right folks, here's the peach tree. Man, I really hacked it back, but it's still here, and I don't know if you can see this, but we got some little tiny fruits. Here's one. That's a nice looking one there. Let's get this in focus real quick. There we go. That's one. I've got another one there and there. There's one hiding back there. But all in all, it's pretty sweet. I think there's like 4 or 5 peaches on this little tree, which this is the first year it's producing. So I'm totally fine with that. And I actually pinched off a bunch of the buds so that the fruit that does stay is a better quality. Alright y'all, what's the deal with these papayas? I sprouted all the seeds in a papaya that I got from the store, and yeah, that's too many. I hate that I can't use this many because I sprouted them, but you live and you learn. Holy smokes, I have a mulberry cutting that is actually still alive and growing a little branch. Look at that, it's got 3 little branches going. So that's exciting to me. I've never rooted mulberry cuttings before, but it looks to be working. And I rooted this one straight to the ground. I didn't do it in a pot. I didn't use any rooting hormones. I just stuck it in a aloe leaf and stuck it in the ground and left it alone. I literally haven't done any watering or anything like that, so it's just getting rainwater so far, and I've mulched heavy around it, so hopefully that's helping. But that's just amazing to me. Just putting a stick in the ground and it's actually growing. It boggles my mind. All right, this is one tenacious little plant here. This is an elderberry tree, and you can see here where it got tore off, and basically I just ripped it out of the ground and stuck it here, and now it's growing. And so I'm expecting this to get, you know, around 8 feet tall or so, and hopefully produce some mulberry or elderberries for me. So that's an interesting tree there. Hey little buddy. All right folks, I sowed my oats. Oh, there's a little little ladybug next to this oat here. This is what we're looking at though. This little, all right, let's just grab it so it's not running around. But this is a little oat that's starting to come out. And what's cool about these annual grasses is they start to look dead and brown. You can see a lot of brown on them. But what they're doing is they're actually pulling in all the sap and all their energy. They're pulling it in from all these leaves, and they're pulling it to the center of the plant. And once they get all their energy in the center of the plant, they begin to shoot up a stalk. And these haven't gone to seed yet. Just like there's only a couple right over there that have started to shoot up some seed. But I've still got a little ways to go because they need to dry out and all that, and fully mature. But the green seed is showing up, so I'm expecting all these and all these to start pushing up seed heads here soon. And I'm really excited to see what I get, because that was a tiny one. That's nothing. These big ones though, they should be putting up some much bigger seed heads. So I'm interested to see if that's going to be a productive crop or not, and if it's going to be worth doing. So far I like them, they're easy. I've got some over here. Oh, there's another mulberry tree that's not mulberry cutting, that's not dead. Those are dead though. But anyway, I've got some more over here, and they're doing the same thing. They're starting to turn brown, and they're not looking very good. But these are just in sand. I didn't, I didn't fertilize or do anything special with them. So I'm pretty impressed that they grew this tall. I mean, they're, you know, about a couple feet tall, standing straight up. So that's looking good to me, and I'm really interested to compare how much seed I get from these compared to these, because I put compost down, and I put a cubic yard of compost down over here. So that's going to be an interesting comparison, because as far as growth, they're pretty comparable, honestly. All right, I've got some seed production going on here. My daikon radishes bloomed, and they bloomed really quick. So here's what I learned about daikon radish. Here, I'll show you the whole patch here. But daikon radish, they will bolt and flower. This is what they're doing right now, is they're bolting. And so they'll do this very quickly if you plant them before the summer solstice. After the summer solstice, they'll stay in the ground and they will build a larger root or radish, and that's what they're going to focus on, and they'll bolt later, is what I understand. However, these, they're bolting extremely fast. I put them in the ground like 2, maybe 3 months ago, and we can look down here. There's not a whole lot of radish there, but like I've mentioned before, I'm really most interested in collecting seed from these bigger plants that did really well in my soil. So I'm not after a big radish harvest or anything in the future, for sure, but I think by and large I'm going to use daikon radishes as a cover crop, and so I'm just building up my own seed bank for seeds right now. All right, my clover is going to seed as well, and I've got 3 different types, I think. So you can see those little clusters of black seeds. That's the seed for this clover, and yeah, it's got a lot of flowers. It's doing really well, and there's some hairy vetch in there entangled with the mess. But I've got these low growing ones with the tiny yellow flowers, and then I've got these taller ones that also have tiny yellow flowers. And now I've got this really tall one with these white flowers on it. So I had no idea I even collected these seeds, but apparently I did. I thought I collected them off of a different type of clover, but I guess not. I guess this is what I got, so clearly anyway. But yeah, these are my clover experiments. So I'm going to use these for cover crops and feed as well, just because chickens love them. I already give them seeds and they eat them up. And actually, speaking of chickens, let's pluck off some of this with plenty of seed heads. Like, look at that. See those clusters of seeds there? We'll pull that off and see how the chickens like it. Hey chickens, chickens. Look at them. They're going for the seed clusters. They like the leaves too, though, but they're definitely targeting the seed clusters. There's a big one right next to my finger, guys. They'll notice it in a second. They are cleaning that off pretty quick. They act like I don't ever feed them, which I do, but they're acting like I don't. So anyway, we'll chuck that in there and they can they're like, nah, we only like eating out of your hand. You're not coming out right now, guys. And stay in. All right, so that's what we've got going on in the garden in late March. It's almost the end of March here. And it's an exciting time. A lot of my winter stuff is starting to produce something. Oh, what do you got to say, pal? You ain't got nothing to say. Can't even talk yet. He's like, Daddy, yes I can. But yeah, so it's exciting to see my winter stuff blooming, going to seed, producing something. Especially the collard greens, I can actually eat those. But it's also fun seeing the stuff that's sprouting up. I've got sweet potatoes coming up. I've got all these little fruit trees that are coming up, and everything's just growing insanely fast, way faster than I can keep up with. I've already got pear trees sticking roots out the bottom of their pots. I'm like, I gotta get these in the ground or in bigger pots or whatever. So a lot of work, but it's fun. And one day we'll get an abundant harvest, but it takes people like me and people like you to be setting these processes into motion now, because I can't go back 5 years in time to plant a tree if I want pears right now. If I want pears now, I need to plant a tree now, and whenever 5 to 10 years I will get pears, and probably sooner than that. You can graft them, maybe get them in 3 years or whatever, but yeah, we gotta do stuff now. So the way I mentally think about it is it's a habit that you make of planting seeds, making management decisions in your yard, and just continuing harvesting, planting, and you just keep going over and over and over. And I don't really worry about harvesting. I mean, if there's stuff to harvest, I harvest it, but I'm mostly focused on planting. And the more you plant, the more you're going to harvest. So why sit here and wait for a harvest when you should just keep planting? So that's the way I look at it. But anyway, you guys have a great day. That's what's going on in my garden. Let me know what's going on in your garden, or if you have any questions about gardening, definitely ask, and I'll tell you to plant sweet potatoes. No, I'm just kidding. Not really, but they're easy. Everyone should just go to the store, buy sweet potatoes, put them in the ground. You will get a lot of food out of that, and they're beautiful too. They have nice purple flowers. So y'all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.